special pre-show action bonus match here at IWC's first ever Night of Superstars here in Meadville, Pennsylvania, a lovely part of the country and a tremendously action-packed event here tonight. My name is Joe Dombrowski. I am joined by my cohort in crime, Mr. Justin Plummer, and we're set to see a little bit of an unofficial proving ground of sorts of two young athletes who would love an opportunity to be on the regular IWC roster. In the ring right now is VIP Joe Rosa, a very well put together young man based out of the state of Ohio, Cleveland area, set for action against another big guy. It's irresistible force and immovable object right off the bat. Bill Collier competes throughout the state of Pennsylvania, calls himself Big Time. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Justin, we're in the big time right now, and it's up to Bill Collier. Pressure's on him to perform on a grand stage. How many people would you say are here so far?
I would say at least 10,000, Joe, and you know I round up. But I'm excited here. Can you believe this is a pre-show match? Unbelievable athletes in superior physical condition. And it's the pre-show. That's how packed our card is right here tonight.
They look like you without your shirt on.
Maybe 30 years ago.
I don't understand anything you've said so far in this segment.
This is a warm-up, and this is the pre-show. I'm working out the bugs.
Well, yeah, warm-up for you, but it can't be a warm-up for these athletes because it's a major, major test. We've seen Bill Collier before here in IWC. We've seen Joe Rosa as a member of IWC staff and security. He's shown up to events, he's lent a hand, he's paid his dues, and now he gets an opportunity, and certainly he's not been sitting at home on the couch eating potato chips. This guy works out.
No, Joe, and both these men, while they may be unfamiliar to the IWC fans, they're not unfamiliar to the professional wrestling in general.
Check out the power! Collier military press! And Rosa is down.
You can see their experience based on the form, based on the moves that they're performing here. This isn't your typical pre-show match. These aren't two brand new guys trying to break into the business. They are established stars, and they're here to make an impact on the IWC.
And Collier using that weight to the advantage in the corner. Connects with a huge splash. And a massive Beal out of the corner. Amazing upper body strength on Bill Collier.
And there you're watching a man whose height, which is normally an advantage, completely and utterly working to his disadvantage on that one.
Well, Rosa was a step ahead. Rosa's the leaner of the two, probably about 20 or 30 pounds leaner than Collier, which will be a disadvantage in a power game. When it comes to quickness, Rosa used it to his advantage expertly and shifted the tide in this matchup.
And now, Joe, it looks like he's trying to chop down this massive tree at the trunk. He's working on Collier's legs, and why not? Seems like a sound strategy to me.
First near fall of the contest, says referee Tim Richards. Rosa looking to hyperextend the knee and thigh muscle just by wrenching that leg in the opposite direction that it is meant to go, and wrenching it one more time, and that puts a lot of pressure on the tendons and ligaments that are inside that knee.
Now, it looks like the crowd's a little bit undecided here tonight, but VIP may be a little bit more hated than Bill Collier here.
Well, I think many of these fans are seeing these athletes for the first time, so still feeling out these perhaps future superstars would be the best way to put it. Right now it's Rosa in control. I think regardless of a winner or loser, both these men are to be commended for coming so far and doing so well in a high-pressure situation. Great vertical leap on the drop kick by Rosa. Lateral press hook on the leg for two.
And Joe, if this crowd is any indication of what we're going to be hearing and seeing for the rest of the night, we are in for some fun.
Absolutely. Rosa gets pushed off. Roll up. Collier cut Rosa out of the corner, got two. Clothesline. Second time. Collier mounts a bit of a comeback now that he's on a vertical base. Huge spine buster. Almost Arn Anderson-esque by big time Bill Collier.
And here we're getting set up. Look out, it's a spear.
Beautifully executed. Collier maybe going in for the kill. About to win his return to IWC for the first time in almost 2 years. Fireman's carry. Death Valley driver hook with a leg. Collier's got this.
It, Joe. It's over.
Well, very game effort by the youngster Joe Rosa, but it was big time Bill Collier. Had success all over the region. Add IWC to that list tonight. Big win in our special pre-show attraction at Night of Superstars.
The whole world will know that the best wrestling fans are right here in Meadville. Are you guys ready? Without further ado, Night of the Superstars begins in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we go!
For the first time, IWC Wrestling invades Meadville, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Night of Superstars 2011. Joe Dombrowski along with Justin Plummer ringside.
And you've got to be kidding me. Such a big event, and this is how we're starting the night.
Dalton Castle undefeated in IWC competition up until a couple of weeks ago when Castle was offended by the returning one-man militia Matthew Justice, but that has not done anything to quell the ego of the alleged party peacock.
Well, now wait a minute, Joe. According to Dalton Castle, and if you watch IWC Aftershock, you'll know he's still undefeated, so you might want to keep it down. Don't let him hear you mention that match against Matt Justice. Apparently it didn't count.
Hey, I can barely hear myself over this crowd in Meadville. Let's go up to Dalton Castle.
When a star walks through the curtain, no matter what stage seating when my opponent comes out, I'm wrestling Colt Cabana.
Poor Pedro.
Colt Cabana likes to have fun and make people laugh. Well, you got news for you. I hate to laugh. And Colt Cabana, I hate your guts.
So Dalton doesn't like to laugh. So that means that that mask is worn for serious reasons. Pedro, please take the mask off. Well, the man that had a cup of coffee as Scotty Goldman and is perhaps best known these days as a frequent friend and tag team championship partner of the one and only CM Punk. Cabana and Punk endorsing IWC star Gregory Iron at a live event in Chicago about 4 months ago. And as Colt Boom Boom Cabana, the international star from Ring of Honor to Japan and everywhere in between, takes the ring all his own as Castle flees to the outside.
And that's right, Joe. It's no secret that Colt Cabana has been by his friend CM Punk's side since the beginning of his epic climb to the top of the world wrestling entertainment. But now he's here trying to make a name for himself. And he's going to do that against one of IWC's top stars. As much as I truly and honestly hate to say it about Dalton Castle, the man is talented.
Well, Cabana certainly has a reputation all his own. A former IWC champion, former IWC Super Indie champion. He captured both of those titles by winning a one-night, 8-man elimination tournament. And Colt is all about fun. He's all about having a good time and entertaining the masses. Colt is one of the best mat wrestlers in this world. But you wouldn't know it from looking at him. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He always wants to have a good time out there. I think we're going to see a great time out of Colt Cabana and Dalton Castle right now.
Well, certainly, and he's already getting ahead of Dalton Castle, snapping that towel in his direction. And I think Dalton came out here with a chip on his shoulder already. I don't know what was going on in the back, but he's already got, Colt Cabana's already in his head. He's already frustrated. The match hasn't even started yet.
And keep in mind, Dalton is one of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers as well. He's a former NCAA champion. He has certainly made the rounds through amateur and professional ranks. But we're a far cry from amateur wrestling here tonight as Boom Boom is taking on the charismatic Milkshake.
And the charismatic Milkshake just spilled to the outside of the ring. Looks like he's a little intimidated by the more experienced Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
Colt Cabana made a huge name for himself battling CM Punk across this country, including IWC around 2001, 2002.
You can probably see some of those matches on the Best of CM Punk Volumes 1 and 2, available at IWCWrestling.com, by the way.
Very certain that you can.
I don't think Dalton's going to be able to quiet the crowd, and unfortunately, the more he tries to, the louder they're going to get. So
Not at all.
This
This could approach a record for IWC paid attendance. I have to check the facts and figures, but one of the largest crowds I can recall seeing here in the International Wrestling Cartel. And Castle quickly backing away from Colt Cabana, wants no part of Boom Boom.
Look, again, Dalton Castle retreating to the outside of the ring. Are we going to see some action here, or what? Castle certainly not making any friends with the fans by dodging Colt Cabana.
Well, Castle hasn't made any friends in the locker room yet either, has he?
I don't think he has any friends anywhere he's gone. It's just his attitude. It's just his persona.
His best friend is a mirror. Quick go behind by Colt Cabana. Castle backing Boom Boom into the corner. Will we get a clean break? Well, Cabana comes out on top of the arm drag, a step ahead, a hair quicker than the Party Peacock. And Castle begging off in the corner, seeking some salvation.
Again, Joe, we need to start seeing some aggression out of Dalton Castle here. There you go.
Well, exactly. He picked a spot. Caught Colt with his guard down for a moment. You've been on the receiving end of some of Dalton Castle's aggression as well, haven't you?
Hey, you know, for the fans of IWC Aftershock, which
on IWCWrestling.com.
IWCWrestling.com. Yes, I mean, the man repeatedly humiliates me month after month, but
Stop! Look up!
Oh!
Slap right to the kisser. Cabana outsmarting Castle after the crisscross. And now Castle trying to return the favor on the crisscross.
Back and forth they go. Where they'll stop.
Stop! Look up!
Oh.
I think Castle just outsmarted himself. And back to the side headlock takeover.
Now, Joe, there's some fans out there that may not understand why Dalton Castle has taken the nickname, Party Peacock.
I don't get it either. It doesn't make, well, he has a whole story about the peacock as an animal, doesn't he?
He most certainly does. Apparently the peacock is the most closely related living animal to the velociraptor, which he claims is the most vicious dinosaur to ever walk the earth. I don't know. Is it true? Is this the Discovery Channel? I don't know.
Well, Dalton may be discovering a headache in a moment, thanks to Colt Cabana, who rolls through. Sunset Flip match could be over here, too, and no, your fault. So you and the O's, you got a little Taz in you tonight, a little Robbie E gimmick going on? What's going on?
I got a little bit of everything in tonight. Oh, baby.
Well, Cabana has outsmarted Dalton Castle thus far. He's out-techniqued Dalton Castle, and Castle's trying to beat Cabana at Cabana's own game, and that's the fault right now.
How about these open palms to the face of Dalton Castle? That certainly can't feel good.
And completely legal at that. Cabana. Oh, wait a second. Castle manipulating the official. I believe that's Troy Davis, the official assigned to this contest. And with the referee's attention diverted, Castle with a cheap shot, a straight right hand, which is not illegal, right to the side of the jaw.
Yeah, this is typical Dalton Castle style of wrestling here. We've seen it for months now, ever since he made his debut in the IWC. The man's willing to do whatever it takes to get the upper hand in any situation.
But I give credit to Dalton. Only one blemish on his record thus far. Not many men can say that. 2 count, center ring. Cabana get a little bit upset.
Yeah, Cabana certainly letting the lead slip away here in this match. He had the momentum on his side. He definitely had the advantage over Castle, but that's completely slipped away at this point.
Well, Castle in such great cardiovascular conditioning, has a lot of power behind him as well. Castle is really about as close as you can get to the complete package as far as a wrestler goes. He's got mat technique, he's got power, speed, brains, and confidence. That's why this man is so good, but you can say the same thing in all those circles about Colt Cabana.
Yeah, Joe, you make a good point. These two, while they are so different, are eerily similar in a lot of their styles here. Colt Cabana just being a little more ethical about his approach to competition.
Oh, flying peacock! Splash to a no. Think that noise Castle makes instills fear into his opponents?
It may have, but it didn't get the job done right here. Maybe next time he should do it a little bit louder.
Perhaps you shouldn't be the one to suggest that to him. I don't think any of us need to hear that louder. Reverse chin lock stitched in on Colt Cabana, trying to cut off the blood supply to the brain via the carotid artery. You can't get the blood to carry the oxygen upstairs. It's lights out in a hurry.
And this crowd is hot for Colt Cabana. They're getting him back into this one.
And right into the knee.
Oh. And the crowd quiet once again. Here we go. I took a little extra time to pander to the crowd here. He can't do this. He's gotta make a move.
Flopping his wings and Cabana with a double foot. Castle took way too much time to advertise that, and Cabana has the opportunity.
And there's where the charisma of Dalton Castle, while it can be a positive, while it can give him advantages in matches, that is exactly where it's going to be a disadvantage every single time. You gotta move. You can't let the crowd get in your head. You gotta focus on your opponent. I don't care how much you hate the fans.
And it's Cabana firing back the short jabs by Boom Boom Colt Cabana. So explosive. And a little bit of flip-flop and fly, if you will, baby, on the mothership. Cover two and no.
Joe, a lovely impression there. You are the man when it comes to impressions.
I know it was a great Kevin Sullivan, wasn't it? Colt Cabana feeling the energy now. The Castle cheap shot may have gone to the eye of Cabana. And Cabana with the flying apple. And yes, that's the PG version of that name.
Call it what you want to call it. It's an effective maneuver. And I thought he had it right there. Dalton Castle somehow, though, finding a way to kick out.
Running flying apple coming up by Boom Boom.
Here we go.
No, Castle ducks the shoulder. Cabana springs in. Sunset flip coming up. Castle drops out. Oh, he's got the rope.
Not this way.
Castle stole it. Colt Cabana was robbed by the party peacock. Dalton Castle tonight, and Colt is in shock, as are many of us.
And the fans aren't happy. How many times are we going to have to sit out here and watch the party peacock resort to tactics such as grabbing the rope to get an advantage and pull out victories over his opponents?
Dalton Castle continues his near unbeaten streak, and IWC continues to climb the ranks, and beating a former IWC Super Indy and Heavyweight Champion is a big time accomplishment. Colt Cabana, one of the all-time best in IWC, one of the best in the world pound for pound. Credit to Dalton Castle. Big win here tonight. So great to see Colt back in IWC as well.
That's right, Joe. Two teams already in the title match. The one-nighters, the Founding Fathers. Could Chess Flexor and Kermon join them and become the third?
Well, we know Chess Flexor and John Kermon are not exactly a regular tag team. I believe we've seen Kermon in IWC in the past. However, not what I'd call a top contender. No discredit to him. Kermon's an amazing athlete. But it seems that Chess Flexor is trying to stick his nose where it maybe doesn't belong. Keep in mind, Flexor is, I guess, technically still a co-owner of the organization.
Yes, I believe it's 49% owner, so...
Well, he can be your boss. My 51's with Chuck. Your 49's with Flexor. How about that?
We'll talk about it a little bit later.
He's not wearing a tutu tonight, at least. He being Chess Flexor.
That's kind of unfortunate.
Really, is it now? Let's go to Pedro. Well, we'll calm before the storm here before we get the other team out here, but it's one of the most successful dynasties in the history of IWC Tag Team Wrestling. Been a while since we've seen them together, but tonight there could be a career resurgence for these two athletes.
And that's right, Joe. These two men returning to tag team action in the IWC ever since being derailed by the Founding Fathers. We lost Mickey Gambino. We then lost Marshall Gambino. They were gone for a while. Marshall made his return in Clearfield, vowing to take out the Founding Fathers one by one, and tonight he brought his brother with him. They're back in tag team action, and they're facing a team that has zero experience. The Gambinos themselves, probably the most tag team experience in the IWC.
Well, keep in mind the main reason why we haven't seen the Gambinos in several months is due to that power that was wielded around very unfairly by Bubba the Bulldog of the Founding Fathers. But the great news, of course, as we know, Bubba the Bulldog has lost all of his power in the International Wrestling Cartel. Bubba no more say anymore over who stays and goes, and as a result, Mickey and Marshall free to appear on IWC events once again. And the only two men who, as a collective team, have captured the IWC Tag Team Championships 5 separate times in their careers.
Joe, they're going for 6, and they would love nothing more than to get into that 4-way dance in December to take out the Founding Fathers and prevent them from regaining the tag team titles, which were stripped from them by Nor Connors.
We already mentioned that already in are 2 members of the Founding Fathers. They will be represented by Jimmy Vegas and Super Hentai. Really the only 2 able-bodied Founding Fathers left, aside from the IWC champion, which is a major story in their breakdown in hierarchy. We also know the one-nighters, as you mentioned, which are Bobby Beverly and Nicky Valentino, and sometimes with those men you're lucky to get one night, but be that as it may, they have also qualified, and hopefully with Beverly and Valentino involved and the Founding Fathers and 2 more teams, we will crown very deserving IWC Tag Team Champions.
And Joe, you mentioned the downfall of the Founding Fathers. That's got to be one of the most interesting stories, one of those unexpected stories in independent professional wrestling. The group had such a grasp and such power in the IWC. Looking months back, I could never have imagined that they would be dwindled down to what they are now.
Great agility by Mickey Gambino. Nice guy, as he's ironically called. The monkey flip out of the corner by the 220-pounder or so. And the tag is into chest, Flexor, and his bedazzled tights, Justin Plummer.
This man has so much money. That's why he's wrestling in something different every night.
He doesn't really have $1 billion.
All right, Joe, I'm not sure if I believe you, but I will say, on my way to Meadville this evening, I stopped at Taco Bell, and I believe I saw Chest Flexor ordering a chalupa. I'm not sure if it was him, but he was probably ordering 1,000 chalupas. He has the money. I don't know. He looks rich to me. Look at those bedazzled.
Ouch! Rich with pain. Thanks to 280 of the baby bull, Marshall Gambino. And scoops Flexor up like a little baby. And gonna take chest. Overhead with a fall-away slam.
Nicely done by Marshall Gambino. And you can see the fire in his eyes ever since he's returned. He is here to make a statement.
This is intensity that's been built up for a number of months. Double whip. Gambino's down with a backbreaker and a face plant as well.
Look at this experience. You don't see maneuvers like this by brand new tag teams. This is the 7 years of the Gambinos in work right here. It's a work of art.
Well, Kermon tried to get involved with the momentum, came back to haunt him. Kermon got launched right into Flexor. And the Gambinos are showing why, since 2004, they've been the team in IWC wrestling for most of those years. And now, when this matchup gets to the outside, it's all Gambinos. You know their roughhouse tactics, their little side job, so to speak, wink, wink, the family business.
Oh, yeah.
They're all about putting in a good hurting and maybe throwing you to the bottom of the river, rolling you up with some carpet.
Joe, they're in the moving industry.
Exactly. When they roll off carpets, when they move, I'm just saying.
Okay.
They don't want the carpet anymore. They can throw it in the river and it'll float like somewhere else, you know? Just saying.
Maybe tie some rocks to it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like a chain and anvil or something.
I guess that's another story for another night.
Well, until they find the bodies, it's not a story we got to go into right now. Boy, is Mickey looking in great shape or what?
He is. After an extended period of time off, you wouldn't expect to see him coming back in such good shape, but he is. He's looking phenomenal.
I understand he's been doing some of those side jobs down in the Carolina area.
Well, he's certainly been doing something.
Well, right now he's on the receiving end of some John Kermon interference. Hanks Mickey's throat up on that top ring rope, which is very tightly enforced. There's not a lot of giving there. That'll snap back, hit you right in the throat. You'll be out of breath in a heartbeat.
No, and that's what Flexor and Kermon are going to have to do to get back in this, because it looks like so far the experience of the Gambinos is a little too much for them to overcome. And Joe, they really haven't lost. For not teaming together for so many months, they really haven't lost much chemistry. It's surprising to me. I guess that's what brothers do, though, right?
Well, I suppose so. It's instinctive. They know what each other's thinking perhaps before they think of it. As Kermon gets a near fall, Kermon has dedicated himself so much. He's been training in mixed martial arts the past couple of years, lost a ton of weight, I believe upwards of 70, 80 pounds, if not more, to get himself in tip-top ring shape. This guy has a dedication and a passion second to none, and I'd love to see him, much like a guy like Collier or Rosa earlier in our exclusive bonus feature. Love to see Kermon get a bigger opportunity in IWC as well.
No, and you hit the nail on the head, Joe. It's the heart, the passion, it's that desire that you see these guys come in. They have a complete physical overhaul. They get into shape. They train. They go from a nobody to somebody, and sometimes they go completely to the top of the organization that they're fighting in. And that's all it takes. The number one thing in professional wrestling is heart. It's desire.
Well, is it enough to counteract the most decorated two-man tag team in IWC history? Keep in mind, Chest Flexor was once a part of the Gambino family. He was once one of the entourage, the lackeys, the cronies. Call them what you want, but hey, Flexor's a dangerous guy too, because he was running with those Gambinos for a couple years.
Was that before he was a billionaire?
Wink, wink, yes. That's when he was hanging out with a guy named Ferrari. Back elbow by Mickey, and Flexor Kermon got to get their P's and Q's about them, but too late, tag to Marshall. And now Marshall bringing the pain. Clothesline, back elbow. The baby bull is dominating.
He's a one-man wrecking crew right now.
And it could be time, Justin, for the curse of the Gambino. But Kermon had it scouted.
Marshall's not happy.
And Flexor downstairs. Caught Marshall unaware. And Flexor with a roll-up hook of the tights and almost stole it. What a change of game plan that would be if Flexor and Kermon make it to the four-way at winner takes all. Kermon holds the big baby bull. Nobody home but the partner. Marshall Gambino sets up.
No, they're going to get a second chance.
They got the curse. Mickey follows through. We got a cover. And Mickey and Marshall are back.
Joe, they have qualified. You heard Pedro, they are qualified if winner takes all to make a chance, make a run for their 6th IWC Tag Team Championship.
By far a record. So great to see. Nice guy, Mickey and Marshall the Bull, two guys that epitomize and personify IWC. See you later, pal. Chest Flexor getting hauled out of here like a sack of garbage, and not billion-dollar garbage either. In the ring, Mickey and Marshall Gambino could hit the promised land once again as IWC Tag Team Champions at Winner Takes All 2011.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you two of your very own here at Leadville. They are going to be your very special guest ring announcers for the next contest. Ladies and gentlemen, first,
We gotta talk, one to hold the mic. That's not work. All ring announcers do that, right?
We have a special guest referee here, too.
We do. Maybe you should announce.
Give it up for Rodin, the Big Show, Shulo.
Original. That's right.
The following women's contest is scheduled for 1
Joe, she is also the reigning TNA Knockouts World Champion as well.
Absolutely true here at IWC Night of Superstars 2011. I am Joe Dombrowski, joined by Justin Plummer. On the way to the ring right now is indeed one half of the TNA Knockout Champions, along with Madison Rayne. She is the current reigning TNA Knockout Champion. She is Gail Kim, and ever since her return to TNA Impact Wrestling, she has been closely aligned with the Vice President of the Knockout Division, Karen Jarrett, making life miserable for the rest of the Knockouts all across the board.
But Karen's not here tonight. Gail's going to have to win this one on her own.
But you know Gail Kim has Karen Jarrett only a phone call away. Let's hear from the champion.
I just wanted to make it clear tonight that I came here under the weather, not because I really wanted to entertain all of you guys, really because they paid me a boatload of money. And judging from the people that I met tonight prior to the show, I really should have asked for a lot more money. But there is one good point. One good point here is that my opponent tonight is fellow TNA knockout Tracy Brooks. Oh, and Tracy, back there, by the way, I heard your comment about me tonight saying I have no booty. Oh, really? Well, I just want to tell you one thing. The reason why it appears that way is because I cover myself. Because I have class and integrity, and I do not need to show the goods to show how talented I am. Unlike some people like you. I mean, honestly, who wants to see her goods? That's exactly what I expected, because you guys are a bunch of low-life, perverted losers. So, Tracy, you know your job just because Karen's not here. Doesn't mean you have the night off. I'm in charge tonight, so you know your role. Come out here right now and face me and do your job.
On that note, and her opponent, wrestling out of St. Mary's, Ontario, Canada, she is Karen Jarrett's personal assistant and TNA knockout. Give it up for Tracy Brooks.
Well, we just heard words from Gail Kim. She was referencing the pre-show Q&A session where Tracy Brooks said that she was going to kick the non-existent booty, I believe the term was, of Gail Kim here tonight. That remains to be seen, but Tracy Brooks, the original TNA knockout, back on the scene as the personal assistant of Vice President Karen Jarrett. We thought Tracy would get the job of knockout law that she used to hold under the Jim Cornette regime, but nothing doing. And Gail Kim just said Tracy's going to do her job tonight, which means being subservient and holding the ropes for Gail Kim.
Wait, Gail's got something else to say.
You know your role, right? You know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lay back here and let me do it. That's your job. You're our man. Lay down. You know how.
Why do they have to constantly humiliate?
Aren't you, Tracy?
Hey. Always humiliating Tracy Brooks. She did nothing to deserve this.
Do you really want to risk your job? The only job in wrestling that you can get right now? Being our lackey?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Don't make her do this. These fans paid for an athletic competition, and Tracy Brooks came to compete and kick some butt and stand up for herself. This isn't right.
Gail Kim is fully capable of winning this match.
Wait, Tracy reversed it!
Wait a minute,
Tracy almost stole the win from Gail Kim before the bell even rang. Special guest referee Sarah Feeney, IWC star, officiating this matchup, but Gail Kim wants nothing to do with Tracy Brooks.
I'll make it short and sweet. You say you're vital ass, you're actually just an ass.
Look out.
And I'm pretty sure everyone wants to see what's underneath my t-shirt.
Joe?
I wouldn't mind a peek.
Yeah, why not?
And Gail Kim from behind. We've seen Karen Jarrett repeatedly every week on Impact Wrestling on Spike TV continually berating Tracy Brooks for showing off her gifts.
Well, you know, call them what you will.
And every time, Tracy Brooks, she's proud of her body. She's happy that she looks the way she does. And she wants everybody else to be as happy as her. I can't blame her for that.
Well, she's in shape. She trains daily, twice a day. And why wouldn't you show it off? What are you going to do, wear a full suit out here, a full gown to wrestle in? You got to wear what's comfortable. You got to wear what works.
I don't get what the problem is of Madison Rayne, Gail Kim, cover in the ring for two, and especially Karen Jarrett. They constantly have to demean and belittle Tracy Brooks, who really was a knockout before there was a such thing as TNA knockouts.
That's true. And it's a shame seeing Gail Kim come out here and act this way, because she is fully capable of wrestling this match with integrity, without asking her opponent to lay down, without putting her down before the match.
Well, check this out. Cover to a no.
And there, you have it right there. A quick 2 count already. She's capable, again, she's capable of doing this. Why is she resorting to this attitude and these tactics?
And I believe Gail Kim was the first ever knockout champion, a memorable feud with Awesome Kong for many, many months. Gail Kim may be, pound for pound, the best female athlete in this business today, but that's taken a back seat to her, taking an easy way out to get her TNA job back by aligning with Karen Jarrett and making Tracy Brooks the butt of all the jokes.
That's right, Joe. Gail Kim is one of the best in the business, 2-time TNA Knockout champion, currently half of the TNA Knockout Tag Team champion. She was even WWE Women's Champion at one point, and in 2008, ranked number 3 for the top women wrestlers in the industry.
She defeated Velvet Sky recently at TNA's Turning Point pay-per-view extravaganza with a lot of help from, again, Karen Jarrett and Madison Rayne. Did Gail Kim. Great achievement, but certainly very cheap. And then Tracy Brooks had to sit by the sidelines and watch her friend, Velvet Sky, get cheated out of that championship that Velvet worked 4 years to attain and was a dream come true. She only got it for about a month before Karen Jarrett's regime screwed her. As Gail Kim mounts Tracy Brooks to a no with punches. Punches, I mean. I'll tell you, Tracy Brooks in the pre-show Q&A here at IWC Night of Superstars stated if she was going to pick any tag team partner in TNA Impact Wrestling, it would be Velvet Sky. So you got to believe Tracy fighting for Velvel's honor here tonight. Gail tries to charge into the corner. Tracy gets the feet up and a double handful of hair face plant, and Tracy's got a chance to get back into this matchup.
And Joe, how about the job being done by the First Lady of the IWC, Sarah Feeney, here refereeing this match?
Nicely done thus far, keeping things on the straight and narrow. Obligatory 10 count. We could have a double count out if nobody gets to their feet. Looks like Gail was a hair ahead of Tracy, so Tracy begins to fire away.
There's nothing I hate more in wrestling than watching one lady give another lady a knife-edge chop.
With the shoulder tackle, watch Tracy Brooks. And Tracy Brooks has a very inspirational story all her own, and you want to talk about getting inspired.
Wait a minute, Joe.
I was going to talk about Tracy, her deformities from birth and how she's overcome them, but nothing looks deformed about that at all, does it?
What?
Clothesline, cover, near fall.
Sorry, Joe, I lost it there for a minute. I was a little bit into the action. That was an incredible maneuver by Tracy Brooks.
Justin, when'd you get here? With Tracy Brooks mounting the second turnbuckle on the inside. Double handful of hair again, but Gail able to push off. Knockout champion up and over. Roll up, and Gail Kim was all over the ropes. What a screw job, again perpetrated. Another screw job perpetrated by Gail Kim, even without Madison Rayne and Karen Jarrett here nearby. Gail still takes the cheap way out. She was all over that bottom rope, and Tracy Brooks, who is well on her way on some redemption and retribution and showing what the Knockouts division is all about, she got shafted tonight.
Yeah, Joe, you hate to see Tracy Brooks being berated like she was to begin the match. You really wanted to see her get some revenge. Tonight, just not her night.
Tracy Brooks, still the star of the Knockouts in my book, still epitomizes what the Knockouts division is all about. She'll have her day. She'll get her respect, even if she's got to force it out of Gail Kim, Karen Jarrett, Madison Rayne. But it's Gail Kim, still the TNA Knockout Women's Champion. now we look at the man who, for the past year, almost to the day, has reigned as IWC champion.
So here we go. Of course, where there's smoke, there's fire. The Founding Fathers accompanying the champ to the ring.
This is all that remains of what was once the most powerful unit in IWC history. The firing of Bubba the Bulldog, the departure of Dean Radford, Dennis Gregory promising to leave if he couldn't win War Games. This is what is left. And now, perhaps a bit of a slice of humble pie amongst the men who claim they built this ship. But Justin, to my recollection, only one man has held the IWC title longer than John McChesney in our 10-plus year history. McChesney is in very elite company as IWC's top title holder. The record is 18 months. He's still a little ways away from that, but McChesney has cemented himself. If he succeeds tonight, he will surpass a year as IWC champion.
Say what you will about the Founding Fathers, say what you will about Big League John McChesney. The fact of the matter is this man has been a fighting champion, and he still has the title to this day.
And if you don't believe him, just ask him.
Here we go.
Even Hentai's mask looks angry at this point.
Listen to me. I am Big League John McChesney, the International Wrestling Cartel World Heavyweight Champion. And with me are the Founding Fathers, Super Hentai and Judy Vegas. A few weeks ago, there was a little bit more gold around our waist. This man was one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions until he was stripped by Chuck Roberts. With Chuck Roberts and IWC on December 10th at Winner Takes All, those tag team titles will be around the Founding Fathers' waist once again. Pennsylvania absolutely disgusts me. And if you think that I'm leaving Mevo without this, you have another thing coming. Carlito, get your ass out of here because it's on.
Well, no shortage of confidence when it comes to Big League. And now we are joined by a former Intercontinental United States and Tag Team Champion in the WWE, the son of the legendary god of Puerto Rican wrestling, Carlos Colon. He is Carlito, and he may be the next IWC champion.
And Joe, this man is the only wrestler to win a championship in two separate debuts in the WWE. The Intercontinental Championship and, of course, the United States Championship by defeating John Cena.
The hell did he debut twice?
We're on SmackDown.
I guess so. That's very true. Carlito, his first night in the company, pinned John Cena. Some guys try a lifetime and can't do that.
And don't forget, he teamed with Primo to become the first tag team to unify the WWE Tag Team titles. This man is no stranger to gold.
No stranger to apples either. Do you think he finds the Founding Fathers cool?
Joe, I'd like to venture a guess that the answer to that question is absolutely not.
Pedro DeLuca with the official introduction center ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following singles contest is scheduled for a one fall with a 60-minute time limit at 6, moving the IWC Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger in the corner to my left. He weighs at 230 pounds, wrestling out of 7
and looks in phenomenal shape.
And his opponent in the corner to my right. And escorting ringside by Super Hentai and Jimmy Vegas. He represents the Founding Fathers. He weighs in at 195 pounds, wrestling out of Erie, Pennsylvania. Wearing black with white trim. He is the reigning Bronco defending IWC Heavyweight Champion, Big League Xion.
A crafty and conniving champion, Big League's resources have depleted in recent months, but it has not stalled his momentum. And if you ask me, Big League is the luckiest man in the world, Justin, based on the fact that he is still IWC champion.
He has dodged many bullets in his reign, and Joe, you alluded to the fact here that his resources are dwindling, but you look at these three founding fathers, McChesney, Super Hentai, Jimmy Vegas, that's still an impressive trio, and we're talking these men are at half power, and it's still like this. Carlito's going to have his work cut out for him if he thinks that the founding fathers aren't going to get involved in this match.
I think Carlito's a little smarter than to make that assumption. He's grown up around this industry. Since birth, he's been a part of this business. He knows all about the ins and outs. As you see the prize hoisted up by the official, McChesney, let's talk about McChesney's luck. An I Quit match with Ray Rowe. I don't know if there was a way in hell you were going to get Ray Rowe to say I quit. I'm not sure if McChesney knew or not, but J-Rock, after about a year and a half absence, snuck into the building, blinded Ray Rowe with a fireball, ended that matchup effectively. That was a no contest. Ray had to be hospitalized. We understand he's recovering nicely, but we're not sure when we will see Ray again. We hope it to be at Winner Take All, but that's very much in doubt.
No, we haven't seen Ray Rowe since that night, and that surprising turn by J-Rock. You have it right, Joe. It looked like that match was going to go in the favor of Ray Rowe. We looked like we'd have a new champion. But again, McChesney dodged the bullet, hung on to the title. But a win's a win.
And keep in mind, McChesney has Shiima Xion in his crosshairs as well. Shiima pinned John McChesney in that fans bring the weapons match. McChesney subbing for the fired Bubba the Bulldog. Shiima pinned the champion in that matchup. He pinned McChesney, and by scoring that fall, he guaranteed himself a title match at Winner Takes All.
That's right, Joe, and you want to talk about McChesney's luck? The following event, Combat in Clearfield 2, was a steel cage match between McChesney and Delicious Jimmy DeMarco. McChesney pulled out his contract, found a loophole. He did not have to defend the title that night. It became a non-title match. But the stipulation was added that if DeMarco won that cage match, he would be added to the main event at Winner Take All. And DeMarco did just that. So right now, tentatively set, Jimmy DeMarco, Shiima Xion, and John McChesney, December 10th in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, for the world title. But Carlito has other plans. We could see DeMarco, Shiima, and Carlito for the world heavyweight title.
Well,
things don't go McChesney's way tonight.
I know the founding fathers have their other plans as well. From what I understand, McChesney has been on the phone with lawyers on a daily basis trying to remove Jimmy DeMarco from that championship matchup and at that IWC in general. We understand that as a result of the legal counsel's pressure, DeMarco's involvement is right now under review, and we hope to pursue that further as time goes on here in the International Wrestling Cartel. As Carlito right now is in the head of John McChesney. Carlito's in the ring. He's, no pun intended, calm, cool, and collected, while McChesney seems a bit worried.
McChesney being counseled by his founding father teammates here, but catching a breather at the same time.
McChesney, pound for pound, one of the toughest men on the roster. I don't like to admit it because he's such a braggart. He's so egomaniacal, but there's no doubt he can back it up. And Carlito, pair of arm drags. And McChesney, again, wants nothing to do with Carlito.
And Joe, you mentioned it before, and you're exactly correct. Carlito looks to be in absolutely phenomenal shape, and his in-ring skills seem to be at a peak right now. He's looking really good early on in this world title matchup.
Well, I think now that Carlito is free from the past chains that binded him, so to speak, He's a new man, and he's rejuvenated and more motivated now than he ever has been before. John McChesney, however, is motivated solely by greed, solely by the spotlight of being IWC champion, which is becoming more and more in jeopardy as time goes on.
You'd like to think it's only a matter of time before his antics come back to haunt him and he drops that title, but Joe, like him or not, McChesney always seems to find a way to hang on to that belt.
Collar elbow tie at McChesney, able to leverage Carlito back into the corner. Mr. The Wild Swing, the southpaw Carlito tried to respond in kind, but McChesney to the outside once again. And Carlito going to give chase, and I think this is what McChesney wants. Because now Carlito is staring down two fresh founding fathers.
Carlito's munching on that apple. And that was enough to scare the founding fathers off. He's got an open road to McChesney.
And Big League was a step ahead, caught Carlito coming in. And now the blatant choke as McChesney attempts to ground Carlito and take the sixth man, that being the crowd, effectively out of this bout. And Big League opens up with vicious knife edge chops, and McChesney learned from the best the hard way how that goes.
Yeah, I've seen the bruises, I've seen the broken blood vessels on McChesney's chest from time to time.
And distracting the official, and even though it was to the far side of us, I saw Jimmy Vegas and Super Hentai very mysteriously and ominously looming around Carlito. Oh! McChesney got the apple. I talked about the flying apple with Colt Cabana, but that gives new meaning to the word. And Carlito giving Big League a tour of the ring.
Joe, I was just about to compliment the founding fathers for not getting involved extensively. I'm glad I didn't speak too soon. But it looks like Carlito was able to overcome that interference. He's got the momentum now. Let's see what happens here.
Well, this thing could be quick. Huge back body drop.
Nicely done. McChesney retreating yet again.
And keep in mind, Justin, if McChesney's counted out, he still retains the IWC title.
That's right, the title does not change hands via countout or disqualification. Carlito's got to get him in that ring, pin him, make him submit. Whatever he's got to do, he's got to get him back in. He's got to get him back in before that 10 count.
And I think that realization is set in on Big League. Looks like he's going to take, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, a hike ski.
This isn't his first rodeo. He knows he's outmatched right now. He's
outmatched. He's got two guys with him. What more do you need?
You've got to be kidding me.
What a ripoff. McChesney just screwed the entire city of Meadville.
Look at that smug smile on his face. He doesn't care about the victory. Look at that smug smile.
All he wants is the belt. All he wants is the IWC title.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner as a result of a count-out, Carlito.
Here's the bad news.
Sad but true. Whoa, wait a second. It's our guest host of the evening. Hardcore legend, world champion, best-selling author Mick Foley.
So the roof has just been blown off of this place and everyone in their seats is now standing. The hardcore icon, the wrestling legend, Mick Foley, is right here in the IWC.
Rock is here.
Question. A countdown? A countdown. A countdown. Really? Listen, I may not be an expert on Meadville, Pennsylvania. I spent the better part of 2 years driving every single weekend in 1985 and 1986 from a little town in New York to a little town in Pennsylvania called Freedom, learning to be a professional wrestler. Bringing me down to State 79 for about 78 weeks or so. I trained in Freedom. I slept in a run-down, dilapidated hotel in Mars and Cranberry. And I was tossed out the structure in Pittsburgh known as the Hell in the South.
behind that belt.
So I'm an expert on Western Pennsylvania.
I know a lot of them in
And the
WWE
people
does
in
that.
Western Pennsylvania, including the people right here in Meadville, Pennsylvania.
Give it up for Meadville.
They don't like countouts. Now, I may not be qualified to make any type of championship match, but if you remember correctly, as a former WWE commissioner, I am licensed by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission to make any other type of match I want. And Carlito, I get the feeling you're not quite through here tonight, are you? I was talking with a couple of friends of mine backstage. Come on out here, guys.
That's Rocky Reynolds and Aaron Draven.
That's right. Rocky Reynolds and Omega Aaron George. Like I said, they wanted to kick a little butt tonight. So we're going to go back. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, at the end of the night, we're going to have ourselves a little 6-man tag team match.
I like it.
We're against the founding fathers, and just to make sure nothing funny goes on, I will be the guest enforcer.
Mick Foley enforcing the law from ringside.
And I see you looking a little funny, like maybe you don't know. When I'm the guest enforcer at ringside, I may or may not decide to become physically involved. I'm not talking to myself. I got someone right here known as Mr. We'll see you in the ring. Carlito, say hi.
Well, Carlito may have been screwed out of his opportunity at the IWC title, but there will be a chance for revenge. Later tonight, Carlito joins forces with luscious Rocky Reynolds and Omega Aaron Draven, two of the best wrestlers in the Meadville, Erie, Titusville area. They will take on IWC champion John McChesney, Jimmy Vegas, and Super Hentai. What a blockbuster 6-man tag main event just added to the show, and still so much more here to come tonight.